Welcome again to our Wonderful Day in the Lord broadcast. We are in chapter 13 of Revelation, and we're looking today at the second beast that is found in this chapter. The first beast we have looked at and identified as the Antichrist, or whom we call the Antichrist. So he's the principal character, the leader of the world during his time. The second beast is the beast out of the land, it says in verse 11, and he is the beast that it plays a secondary but very valuable and important role. As a matter of fact, this beast is identified over in chapter 16 and verse 13 as the false prophet. So we know who he is. Let's take a look at that verse. And I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, 3 unclean spirits like frogs. Now we're not going to look at this any further. We'll look at it in a few weeks. But notice that the unholy trinity is identified. Satan, who is the dragon, and who mimics the Father. And we have the beast or the Antichrist, who mimics the Son. And we have the false prophet. This is this second beast that we're looking back at in chapter 13. And he's called the false prophet here because he functions as a spiritual leader, drawing attention and worship to the Antichrist. That's his task. So while the Antichrist seems to be the ruler economically and militarily and politically of the whole world system during this time, the false prophet is the leader of the spiritual world during the same period of time. So that's what we're seeing here, I believe, as far as who he is. So we've seen his description, and as we look at verse 13, we see what he does. He performs great signs, chapter 13 now, verse 13. He performs great signs so that he even makes fire come down out of heaven to the earth in the presence of man. So he has power. He may not have the same amount of power the Antichrist has, but he certainly has power, and he brings fire down out of heaven. And what else does he do? Well, he deceives. Verse 14, and he deceives those who dwell on the earth because of the signs which was given to him to perform in the presence of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who had the wound of the sword and who has come to life. So once again, he is a deceiver. Now we recall that this is what Satan does all the time. This is his principal weapon. In chapter 12, verse 9, for example, speaking of the devil, it calls him here the great dragon, the serpent of old, the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. Satan, as we find in the New Testament epistles, deceives. In the book of Revelation, he deceives. And so we're not surprised that his minions deceive, especially the Antichrist and the false prophet. And he does it by the use of signs. Because he's able to do these miracles and wonders and so forth, the world is impressed, and they worship the Antichrist because of that, and they are deceived because of his power, his methods and so forth that he does in the presence of the beast. And telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image of the beast. So not only are they worshiping the Antichrist directly, but they make an idol of him, an image. This image is probably the one that is set up in the temple of God that perhaps is spoken of in 2 Thessalonians 2, but also is spoken of in Daniel chapter 9, I believe, where it talks about the abomination of desolation, in which there is actual worship in the temple of someone other than God himself. And so probably this temple, this image is set up there at this particular time so that these people worship the image of the beast. And let's go on with that. So that the image of the beast would even speak and cause as many as do not worship the image of the beast to be killed. So 2 things. There's some kind of miraculous power given through the false prophet to this image. It's not a person, it's an image, it's an idol. And yet somehow it is animated and is able to speak and able to say things. And on top of that, there is power given here that for those that will not worship this image of the beast, and of course by connection the beast himself, they are going to be killed. And so now we have a setup here that you either follow the beast, you worship the beast, and you worship the image, or you die. And that brings us to the last section in this particular chapter that we want to look at, how that all works out in what we usually call the mark of the beast. And I want to finish up this chapter with that section next time. So I hope you can join us. You have a wonderful day in the Lord.